All the Hollywood stars are snubbing Meghan and Harry. Oh, man, and I'm here for it. Welcome to Popcorn Palace. I'm Andy Signor, and look who's back. It's Steph here in the palace. Our queen is back. All hail Queen Steph. How are you doing, Steph?
Hello, King Andy. I'm doing well. How are you doing, mate?
I'm doing great. I love Steph has been getting to have more time to devote to the channel. She's crushing it, guys. You're like 120 already. Blew past Palace. You're like on a marathon of your own in this thing, but help us, guys. At least get right in her wake. We're almost close to 100,000. Make sure if you haven't subbed to Steph the Alternate, head on over there. Yeah, what are you gonna say? We're getting close.
Yeah, but, so close.
You've been crushing over in Steph the Alternate. Congrats. Always so proud of watching what you got there. And I saw, while we're banking videos, I saw you do this and I was going to report on it too. I thought, let's do it again. If you want to see Steph's full real rants, head on over there, watch it, and watch all the stuff on Steph the Alternate. But I like this as one for us to talk this week because I totally buy this. I totally buy this because there's a part in this article they talk about how now she's doing her Lemonada podcast. So now she needs to sort of call in favors to get guests to show up because that's honestly how podcasts work. Podcasts live or die by the celebrities and the Rolodex and their managers like getting good guests to come in and keep people engaged. So who are the biggest people that Meghan could probably get right now? Her Suits cast. Does her Suits cast want to now help Meghan? Steph, do you think they're dying to line up and do a Lemonada podcast with Miss Meghan Markle?
Got a funny feeling it's a hard no to that question for certain reasons that I know that we'll be going through right now.
How amazing is this karma, right? She's now calling her favors from her former suits, but according to insiders, many of them are far from impressed as they feel that up until now, Meghan has wanted nothing to do with them. It's all very well for Meghan to expect support when she needs it. And obviously she's desperate for this podcast to be a success, but a lot of people think she's got a real cheek to be asking for any kind of support from her old co-stars. After all, she refused to take part in the recent reunion and has shown no interest in staying in touch with the majority of them. She wouldn't even join their WhatsApp group, a source tells Heat. I mean, this is such a damning little source, but I totally buy those disgruntled casts would have easily slipped us off to Heat. Heat always gets a little of these. Steph, I mean, this seems legit, and it seems like they're hurt and mad, and it's all justified. Do you think Meghan's realizing now the error of her ways?
Oh, hell no. I don't think she's realizing the error of her ways. I think she's probably doing a lot of mental gymnastics to try and paint herself as the victim again. And the Suits cast, should be all, bowing down to her and thanking her that Suits has done a bit of a resurgence on Netflix and, putting down all the credit to Megxit. That's probably what's in her head right now, I would assume. The other thing as well is I'm not surprised with this report because when she first moved back to America, there was an article that came out on the Daily Mail, and in it essentially explained, to paraphrase here, that allegedly Megxit only wanted to work, if she went back into acting, she only wanted to work with the A-list directors like Ava DuVernay and the A-list actors, and anything below her wouldn't suffice. It wasn't good enough for her anymore, which to me was a hidden kind of veil against Suits, turning around and saying, no, I'll never go back to Suits again because I'm Meghan, Duchess of Sussex. I deserve now the A-list directors and working with the top talent and the A-list, this, that, and the other, like Margot Robbie was one that was named back in the day. So yeah, I can definitely believe that the Suits cast are mightily pissed off with her, that she markled them, she ghosted them.
100%. She never puts the Suits down, but she certainly distanced herself from most of the cast, and it's pretty insulting, the feeling that she ought to be a lot more loyal to her roots. The show is what made her famous. It's safe to say she'd never have met Harry without the success she'd had from Suits. Just strikes a lot of people as a bit ungrateful that she seemed to want to get away as far away from it as possible the moment she married him. So now for her to come with cap in hand asking for them to appear on her podcast and help promote her products, it's pretty tone deaf to say the least. She's going to need to explain herself and do some serious damage control if she's going to have any chance of wooing them back to her side, because there's a lot of hurt feelings. Look, I totally buy this. We got that vibe right when the actress was talking about how she's not in the group. she messed up. I could understand while she was a duchess, if she was still in the royal family and all that, I could understand maybe a little bit of the distancing, perhaps. But now that she's like out and free and doing her own thing, and the show is a hit, it's shocking to me she didn't jump on that and reunite as the hit was going and make some appearances and support them as a whole. She had the opportunity. I think she could have swooped back then, but she still, even then, Steph, blew it off and wouldn't engage with them. And now at this point, I hope they really do hold the line and, keep her dead to them, because looking back, Johnny Depp showed up for the 21 Jump Street movie, right? Like, you go back and you look at some people who come back and think about their roots, they'd still show some respect, or they come up for an appearance or do something. They meet for the Today Show reunion. Like, to completely just sort of ignore it and play like you're too good for it was such an error on her part. And I agree with you. I think she's going to play victim. Oh, they're just bullying me. Why is everyone criticizing me? Don't they know how hard it is, Steph? Don't they know what I've given for them? My service to the country? It's what she's going to be.
To Suits as well. She's going to take the full credit for the Suits resurgence, because she'll be like, everyone's watching Suits to watch me. That's
it's true. Her Netflix show is what brought Suits back in the algorithm
earlier on.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, it is shocking, but I think this is spot on, and I hope, if true, the cast holds their ground and realizes we don't need her. Why would we ever go to her? What is she gonna give them, Steph? What on earth is Lemonada's Meghan Markle podcast gonna help? If anything, it's gonna make the cast of Suits look more downgrade, right? They should be going on Hot Ones or something actually valuable. No,
absolutely. And as far as I'm concerned, I've got a sneaky suspicion that Archetype Season 2 is never going to see the light of day. When she was at Spotify, she was able to get the A-list in, right? Or some of the A-list in as guests. A, because of who she was at the time. She still had a little bit of pull in Hollywood at that point. But B, she was on Spotify. So Spotify, to a certain extent, will have helped to book some of those guests. But here she is now on Lemonada, a lesser known platform, and reportedly she's now having to scrape the B and C list, i.e. the Suits cast, for her to join onto Archetype Season 2, with them reportedly turning around and saying, hell no, we're not going to do it. Well, who's left to actually go on to this series? I don't think she's going to have any guests.
I don't think Venus Williams is coming on, right?
No, I don't think so either, mate. I really don't. Sneaky suspicion. But that then leads me to my prediction that Lemonada is going to very, very quickly realize how much of an effing grifter, allegedly, Megsy is, and drop her like she's hot shiz before this series even lifts off the ground. There are already reports coming through that Lemonada are absolutely miffed with her because she's had to push her podcast back to 2025 to focus on Netflix and the American Riviera Orchard brand. Lemonada, when they signed her earlier on this year, thought that this series was going to come out this year, but they've been put on the back burner, second fiddle, which I can't imagine they're going to be too happy about.
No. I mean, they have some strong women in that podcast, like Julia Louis-Dreyfus, et cetera, and I wonder if they'll try to cross-pollinate and if she'll be able to sneak a few of those names at the top just because of it. But like even here, Priyanka Chopra, Abigail Spencer, Wendell Pierce, like even if she got these are not big enough names to launch this podcast that she needs to be. And I don't even think any of them are going to show up. Do you?
Priyanka Chopra Jones is big enough, especially internationally in that regard. So it would actually be a coup for Megsy to get her. But my suspicion is she asked Priyanka Chopra Jones on the first series. How could she have not, right? And she never appeared on the Archetype Series 1. She ain't going to appear on Archetype Series 1. I don't think she's going to be appearing on Archetype Series 2. I don't think this series is ever going to see the light of day.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised either. I mean, what can they do as we wrap this up? I mean, there's a New York Post article was talking about the two things they need. A-list support is slim, and sort of the first thing being, well, her cooking show and Harry's show need to do well. And it's like, they're not going to do well. I think we can already guarantee that Meghan Markle cooking show is not going to turn into Baby Reindeer, if you know what I mean. Like, I don't know what they're thinking it's going to be. Meghan Markle, and I mean, we're going to watch it and lampoon the hell of it. But do you expect any of these things they're working on to actually be a hit enough to like jump their stock back up?
No, not at all. And it's going to backfire on Meghan Markle because with the cooking show, I think it's going to emphasize how much of a fake we all think she is anyway. It's just going to backfire on her. And the fact that she's also doing this show on friendship, like
Yeah.
her last name is now monikered as Markle, right? That has not happened for no good reason. There is a pattern emerging of her allegedly making friends, love bombing them, making them be the best friend in the whole wide world. And then once they've run out of their usefulness, bye-bye. And she goes on to the next one. And she's going to do a series lecturing us on friendship.
Well, it'd be great to like get some of those friends on record and just wait a couple years until they're markled so we can go back and look at the footage like so many are looking at her Netflix series to see just the hypocrisy and cringe because so much cringe is coming out of that Netflix series still to this day. Oh, we had this. I don't know if I aired it already, but the Sidley twins brought that clip of her. Oh, the pilot who thanked me for my service. Oh my God. It's just unbearable, this woman. Anyway, oof, I don't know what they can do. The first thing they need to do, I'll give one, I've done it before. The one tip I would give Meghan Harry to right this wrong is to apologize for Spare. It's the first thing they need to do. First step in a PR attempt. I don't even know if it would be enough, but he's got to take back, and he'll never do it, but he's got to apologize for Spare and admit he shouldn't have written it. He revealed too much. He's sad he's hurt people's feelings. If he did that, I think that's the first step in the sign of recovery. Maybe? Would you agree that would be a nice first step to at least hear him apologize? I know he'll never do it in a million years, but if he did, would you be happy? At least he did that?
It would be a step. I won't be entirely happy because then there's everything else that they've done, not only against the royal family, but the British public as well. I want them to apologise for absolutely everything. Like a complete catharsis of apologies, left, right, and centre coming out of every single orifice that they've got. It's as simple as that.
Well,
will they?
I don't think you have to hold your breath, Steph.
Sorry,
I don't think you have to hold your breath. I don't think it's coming. I think Steph the Alternator will be filled with content in the coming months and years because as I do think it would help. I agree. I don't think it's going to come, and they're not going to apologize enough. So why even apologize the first time is probably some of the other thinking. Because no one will ever accept them back. But always a pleasure. Keep coming back whenever you want. Guys, if you haven't already subscribed to Steph, always love we get to catch up and talk about these things. Hit that subscribe button to both channels. Here it is. Subscribe, bell, bing, ding, 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 ding. Smash that thumbs up as well. And leave your comments down below. We appreciate your faces. Stay tuned. We have so much more coming. More guests and more here on Popcorn Palace.
Woo.